Hey everyone, how's it going? Hope y'all having a good week so far. So, for this week's episode of Random Ramblings, I'm still trying to come up with a better name, I promise. I want to talk about how I used to spend my Fridays when I was younger. So, when I was younger, Fridays and Saturdays were my favorite days of the week. Fridays were my favorite because, first of all, it's the last day of school for the week, so once you're out of school on Friday, you got the whole weekend to look forward to. So Friday, I was just like, yes, get through this day, get through this school day, I'm good to go. No more school for 2 days. Hello, Bella. Bella just crawled out under the bed. So that was one of the reasons. Another one is, it was just, I don't know, man. It was like you had the long week of school and you're like, oh God, I'm ready to get it over with. And then it finally hits. You're free. You're looking forward to the weekend. You're good to go. TGIF on Friday nights was another huge reason. I was a huge TGIF fan. Huge TGIF fan. Boy Meets World was my favorite show on the block. Then Step by Step. And of course you have Family Matters. You had Sabrina the Teenage Witch. Those are the ones I remember from watching. I know there were other shows in the block at different times, but those are the ones I most remember, and I was a big fan. Also on Fridays, for dinner, we wouldn't have, no, Mom wouldn't cook, so we'd have a frozen pizza. So here's how my Friday would go. I'd go to school, get that crap over with. I was so glad to be out of school. When I graduated high school, man, I can't tell you how happy I was. But yeah, we get the school day over with. I come home, put my book bag up, change clothes, go outside, and I play with my friends until the streetlights came on. Which you really can't do these days anymore. It's not as safe as it was back then. But that's what I would do. Get home from school, change clothes, go outside, and played till all the street lights came on. Until it got dark, the lights came on. That's how you knew it was time to go home. Come home, which, I mean, we're in a little, I guess you call it cul-de-sac. It's a dead end both ways, only one way in, one way out. So once it got dark, you come home, make my frozen pizza, and it wasn't like a name brand frozen pizza. It's one of those, like, the ones that are just look like they're wrapped in saran wrap and thrown in the fridge at the grocery store. Is one of those. I can't remember what brand it is. I don't even know if it had a brand, to be honest with you. But it's one of those ones where you had to add cheese and pepperoni to it because it didn't have enough. So, and I loved them. So go outside, play with friends. Once the streetlights came in, made frozen pizza for dinner. And then that night, 8 p.m., it was time for TGIF. So what I'd do is I'd sit in the corner of my room on top of my dresser. Yes, I'd sit on top of my dresser and I'd watch my little 12-inch, 11-inch, however small it was, 11 or 12-inch TV. I'd watch TGIF on it. Like I said, you had Family Matters, which I liked, but once it got to the point where it was all about Urkel, it was kind of lame because it just got stupid. Then you have my favorite, Boy Meets World, which I'm actually binge watching now. And if the camera's shaking, Bella is scratching her face on the tripod. You are a silly cat. But I love you. Yeah, Boy Meets World was my favorite. Then you had Step by Step, which is my other favorite. I had a big crush on Stacy Keenan when I was younger. For those who don't know, that was Dana on Step by Step. Then you have Sabrina the Teenage Witch, which, I mean, I would watch, but I really wasn't a big fan of that one. But overall, TGIF was great. When that was over, I'd fire up the Super Nintendo or the NES, play little video games until I got tired and I went to bed. So that was my Friday, man. Just get school over with, come home, go outside, play with my friends till the lights came on, come in, make frozen pizza, watch TGIF, play some Nintendo, go to bed. Then Saturdays. Oh boy, Saturdays. You wake up early, even though you no school, should have been sleeping in, but you wake up early to get some breakfast and sit in front of the little 11, 12-inch TV and watch Saturday morning cartoons. Now, the cartoons I watched varied when I was younger. They went from Ninja Turtles, Transformers, G.I. Joe. Then once I got older, I say older like I was grown, but I was still a child. Once I got a couple years older, it would change. It'd be shows like Conan the Adventurer, Crow. I watched Doug, Rugrats, and all that mess. All the Saturday morning cartoons. I'd sit there and watch them until about, what was it, 11:30, 12 o'clock when they'd end. Then you'd have the episode of WWF Superstars. Watch that. Go outside, play with my friends till the lights came on, come back in. Although sometimes I will come in before the lights came on, because at 6:05 Eastern Time on TBS on Saturday nights was WCW Saturday Night. So more often than not, I come in about 5:30, have dinner, and watch WCW Saturday Night till 8:05 p.m. Fire up the Nintendo, Super Nintendo, play video games so I got tired, and go to bed. So Saturdays were great too. So Saturday morning cartoons, playing outside with the friends, WWF wrestling, WCW Saturday Night, which I still miss to this day. I've got all the episodes on DVD. I might pull them out and start watching them again. And then the Nintendo, Super Nintendo. I'm sorry I'm yawning so much. I got the fan on. I don't turn the fan on. It makes me sleepy for some reason. Sundays, Sundays, I never really got excited about Sundays, because back then when I was younger, I didn't watch football, so I could not care less about football. I didn't watch any sports when I was a kid, to be honest, except for wrestling. So, didn't care about football. There were no cartoons on Sundays. You had an episode of WWF Challenge in the afternoon, and then later that night you had WCW Main Event. No, not WCW Main Event, excuse me, WCW Worldwide. It was basically like one or two jobber matches, and then highlights of WCW Saturday Night and Monday Nitro. I'd still watch that. And that was pretty much it for Sundays. I went outside and played, but not as long, because you had to come in early on Sunday nights because it was, you had to go to school the next day, so couldn't stay out till the lights came on Sundays. And Sundays were a little depressing because you knew that the next day you're going back to school, and then you have to wait until Friday all over again. So that's how I viewed Sundays like, oh God, tomorrow's first day of school. I didn't really look at it as that last day of freedom. I just looked at it as like, oh Lord, the countdown's begun. So Sundays were not my favorite. Fridays and Saturdays, though, were awesome. Fridays and Saturdays now are just, it's whatever. I mean, I have my shows that I watch on Friday night now. There is no more TGIF. TGIF is gone. As I said in my vlog, sitcoms are not what they used to be anymore. Majority of sitcoms aren't even funny anymore. TV in general is not what it used to be. And that's a whole other video. That's a whole other discussion. So yeah, that's pretty much my weekends as a child. Now in Italy, when I lived in Italy, the weekends were a little bit different because we had, when we lived in the apartment buildings, we had the huge playground right behind the apartment buildings, and we'd stay out there more often than not. But yeah, weekends were definitely more fun. Fridays and Saturdays were definitely more fun when I was a child. Like I said, now they're just another day. But back then, man, it was awesome. Now they did, once I got a little older, I found some TV shows on Sunday nights that I would watch, but for the most part, Sundays were just the countdown to doomsday, going back to school. Oh man, it is fun, man, because we used to go out when we played with my friends. I had a friend, Demetrius, who lived down the road We all called him Bubblicious. I don't know why I started calling him that, man. I just started calling him Bubblicious and it stuck, so everyone called him Bubblicious or Bubble for short. Sorry, dude. He'd have a basketball goal in his driveway, so we'd go out there and play basketball. We all sucked, especially me. I was the rebound king, though, because none of my shots went in. I grabbed my own rebounds, so... We'd do that, and then we'd ride bikes around the neighborhood. My driveway is a half circle, so we'd pretend we were in the Daytona 500, and we'd race our bikes, do laps around the half circle. That was fun. When Power Rangers came out, we pretended we were Power Rangers, and the side of my house was the Putty Patrol. We'd kick and punch the house. Don't ask me why. It worked. We'd wrestle sometimes. Bubblicious had one of those weightlifting belts, one of those support weightlifting belts, and he spray painted NWO. It was from Walmart. It was blue and it said Walmart, so he spray painted NWO to cover up Walmart, and that was our championship belt. And him and I were the only ones that would ever win the thing. We traded it back and forth. We attempted to play football. We didn't have enough kids in the neighborhood that wanted to play football. They were scared to get tackled, so it usually ended up being 2-on-2 football. One person was the quarterback, the other one was the running back / wide receiver. So yeah, and since it was 2-on-2, you could not sack the quarterback because nothing would ever get done. The ball would never be moved, but we made it work. We had fun with it. We had a lot of fun with it. Then during, we'd get together, play some Nintendo sometimes, but for the most part, we were outside. So it was fun, man. It was a lot of fun. So that's what my weekends were like when I was younger. Now, like I said, Fridays, I would bring something home from McDonald's or Burger King. That's dinner. I have my shows that I watch during the season. SWAT, Fire Country, CBS shows. SWAT has been canceled yet again, so that'll be gone next year. Saturdays, just another day right now. Don't really do too much on Saturdays. I might fire up the Xbox or the PC. There's nothing really on TV on Saturdays unless they're having a wrestling event, pay-per-view, or they're not even called pay-per-views anymore. The premium live events, if that's on, I'll watch that. Sundays, I'll watch football. I love football now, but during the off season for football, Sundays are just... I usually watch YouTube or I binge watch some old TV shows from my childhood. So definitely a lot more fun when I was younger. So anyway, there you have it. Those were my weekends when I was younger. I enjoyed them. I missed them. And yeah, I kind of wish I could get that feeling back, but just is not happening. So anyway, I hope y'all are having a good week. Hope y'all have a good weekend. And I'll catch you on the next video. Appreciate y'all watching. Y'all take care.